guys, it's Bella from Bella's Custom Crochets, and today I'm doing something a little different, a little new. I'm decided that for 2020 and possibly beyond, every time I release a new pattern, I'm going to do a video going along with it called a pattern drop, album drop, I don't know, seemed clever in my mind. So I'm going to be talking to you today about my latest pattern release, the Dandelion Dreams Baby Blanket, and I think I'm going to do this from now on. My goal is to, whether the pattern is free on my blog or a paid pattern, I'm going to be doing a blog post for it, either with the pattern included in the post or giving you a preview of the pattern, what to expect, what you might need, skill level, and that sort of thing. And I'm hoping to do a video along with it. So that is the first video. This here is the first video for my first pattern release of 2020. And yeah, you might notice I'm not wearing a finished object. I also don't have one around me because this is what I do with my arms when I have finished objects. Yes, so I thought of doing this video like 2 days ago. Unfortunately, the pattern, though it is releasing this week, the finished object itself, I made 2 of them, have been gifted. My husband's best friend, really good friends of ours, had a baby girl right before Christmas, and she got one of the blankets for her baby shower. And the original one, I'm going to be talking to you in great depth about who that was made for, and that was sent out pre-Christmas in time for Christmas and Hanukkah. So I do not have either to show you, unfortunately. I did take a lot of pictures, but like I said, I just thought of doing the videos now, so I cannot go and take the blankets back from the sweet little babies. So what I am going to do is have my husband insert a whole bunch of pictures. I have my photos, tester photos, all sorts of photos, and hopefully that'll give you a good idea of the pattern. And like I said, you can go see the blog post. And there's also a stitch tutorial video that goes along with this pattern. So you'll be able to see in various locations what this pattern is going to look like for you. So forgive me for not having a finished object. In future pattern drop videos, I will try and make sure I physically have the item to show you on video. So forgive me, love me still, and here we go. So like I said, the pattern just came out for the Dandelion Dreams Baby Blanket, and I think I'm going to tell you a little bit about the pattern first, and then I have a little bit of a backstory and story to continue from here that I'm going to cover. So the blanket itself is standard baby blanket size. It's 30 by 38 inches. So enough to cover a baby. It's not like car seat size, but you can definitely use it in a car seat or stroller. But you could also make it for a toddler, small child, anybody that needs a snuggly little blanket. It would also make a great lap blanket if you're looking for something to throw over your lap, maybe at work or just sitting in a chair, knitting, crocheting at night, or maybe even for somebody elderly or who's not up and down a lot, just needs to keep their lap cozy. You just want to put a blanket on your lap for your kitty to get cozy, that sort of thing. It's that size blanket. It is an advanced beginner level, but like I said, there is a tutorial that's going to show you how to do the stitch. The stitch itself is a modified version of the daisy or star crochet stitch. I've also heard it called the marguerite stitch, but I've seen different things when you look up the marguerite stitch, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. But I call this stitch the dandelion stitch. Like I said, I modified it so it's a little bit different, the original daisy or star, and it's a little bit taller and fuller of a floral shape, dandelion if you will. So I put out a video that shows you how I work that. It's pretty short, pretty simple, and it's going to give you a good visual on how that stitch is going to work for you. The video is available on my channel whether or not you buy the pattern, so the stitch tutorial is up there. It's not a pattern tutorial in whole, it's just showing you how to work that one element of the blanket, just to give you a good clear visual. And also, if you don't have internet access at the time that you're working the pattern, or you've printed it out, there is a photo tutorial in the pattern as well. And as always, this pattern is available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops. Those will be linked down below, and there'll be the blog post talking about it as well. So it is a paid pattern this time. What else can I tell you? It's worked with 4 colors of worsted weight yarn. The one in the sample photos that I'm going to show you and that are in the pattern itself was Joanne Big Twist. So it's a Joanne yarn, worsted weight, very affordable. I like to use acrylic when I'm working baby blankets just because, especially if it's not somebody that I'm gifting it to that isn't a crocheter or knitter and might not know how to care for like a wool or something a little more high maintenance yarn. I like to use acrylic because it's nice. Let's be honest, babies are gross and sad things happen to blankets, and I don't want anyone to feel like they can't use the blanket because it's not washable. So acrylics are great. They have their place, and you can just chuck it in the wash, and you usually lay it flat to dry, but you can follow the washing instructions on your yarn tag. And if you're gifting it, it's always a good idea to give some washing instructions too, especially to a new mom. They don't want to worry about blocking stuff or hanging stuff to dry or whatever high maintenance stuff that goes with yarn. So maybe give washing instructions if you're gifting it. Baby blankets are my favorite thing to gift for baby showers. I love making little cardigans and hats and whatnot, but babies grow so fast that they grow up of those things really, really quick. And you never know if you're going to have another baby or the same gender or whatever. So I really like having a blanket because a blanket is going to grow with a child for as long as they want to be cozy, basically. So I know I've made a couple for my daughter that she really cherishes. People have gifted us some, and I think blankets make a great gift. So what else can I tell you? That's pretty much it. I'm going to throw in some tester photos somewhere in the video, maybe here. Tester photos? Of obviously photos from my testers. The colors in the blanket and the stitch pattern was designed, like I said, with two little girls in mind, so it is kind of flowery. It's got a nice kind of a slanted ruffle edge. It's a little bit different than like your typical like shell or scallop border. It's a, I don't really know what it's called, but it's a nice ruffled edge. I'll put in a picture of that as well so you can see up close at the edge. Insert photo. Nice little slanty edge, and in between some of the dandelion sections there's little like archways, which babies always like to stick their fingers through things, so I like those. They're cute. Little, just something to break up the stripes. Some of my testers used multiple, like beyond the 4 colors. One tester did like a rainbow section in the middle, which was really cute. I think that would be super adorable if you did maybe a solid for all of the larger dandelion sections, and then you did like a Roy G. Biv rainbow, especially if you were gifting it to somebody with a rainbow baby, a baby following a miscarriage. I think that would be super, super sweet. And yeah, there's endless possibilities with the color variation. The dandelions might lean a little more towards girly, but there are definitely options where you can make it gender neutral or boy friendly, or if you want to go that route. It's a baby blanket. Everybody needs to be cozy. And I think delicate cozy things are totally cool for babies. So you can make it really for anybody in your life. And that's about it. I really love it. I think it's a beautiful pattern. I hope you would consider it as well. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. This isn't going to be the normal in my pattern videos. They're normally pretty quick, but this is a special occasion, I guess. This blanket, like I said, was designed for a very special little girl, and I want to say that I do have permission to share everything that I'm going to share from here on out: names, photos, links, all of that. The parents have given me permission to share this because they want as much support and love surrounding their little girl and her journey as possible. So this blanket, right now when I'm filming, it is the beginning of January 2020, and through, at least for right now, I may end up extending it, through the end of February 2020, I'm going to be donating all of the proceeds from this blanket to the Kelly family, who I'm going to tell you about shortly. I'm going to donate it all in one lump sum. I'm not going to do little bits and pieces just because I feel like that's going to be messy and complicated to keep track of. So end of February, I'll update you probably in my podcast episode in March on how much we've donated. But other than the Etsy and Ravelry fees, which obviously I have to pay, there's nothing I can do about that, everything else is going to be going to the Kelly family. So we're going to insert some pictures here and there, probably over me talking. I've never done this method before, but like I said, this blanket was designed for Zoe Eliza Kelly. She was born at 35 weeks. I keep looking down because I have notes here. I want to make sure I reference everything correctly. That's why I'm looking at my legs randomly. She was born at 35 weeks and has been in the NICU since. And she is going on, by the time you're seeing this video, close to 4 months old. So that's obviously a really long time to be in the NICU. And as a mama, my heart just aches for them, because that sweet little girl, she's had quite a bit of struggles, and she is quite the warrior. And her story, I'm going to link down below the GoFundMe page. If you would like to donate, that's totally fine. And if not, you can read some more details there. The mom, Jerry, posts frequently about what struggles they're facing, what they need prayer for, and upcoming surgeries and stuff like that. So she was born 35 weeks, almost 4 months old now, in the NICU, and I'm just going to list some of the various medical things that she's been up against. Truly a fighter, this kid. So she was born with some heart trouble, I believe. She was born with cleft lip, cleft palate, I think they called it a prolapse nostril. Basically, one side of her nose was collapsed. She's had a lot of issues with fluid retention. She looks like she's a chunky, chubby little baby, but really it's her body's not processing fluids correctly, so she's got some extra rolls, which are super cute, but you want her to be working that stuff out. She's had some trouble with eyesight just because she was born early. Her eyes were not fully developed, so they have been doing tests to try and figure out what her vision level is. And one eye is working better than the other right now, so they need some prayer for that. She has had some issues recently with her kidneys, repeated infections there, so they're trying to figure out the kidney function and what could be done to help that. And she's had a gastronomy tube, G-tube, feeding tube basically, put in, and a trach as well to help her breathe. The hope is that the G-tube and the trach are temporary and can be removed later on as she grows and develops. This past week she had surgery to correct the cleft lip, and I believe they said the cleft palate surgery is going to be coming up in the fall of 2020, give her a little bit longer before they undergo that. But just all of those things, so much for just a sweet little baby. And Jerry and Aaron are people of great faith, and they are believing for great things for their daughter Zoe. Her name means, it's in one of the photos, I think it's life full of joy. Life full of light. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen so it's correct, but they're just believing for amazing things for Zoe's life. And the hope is that very soon, once she recovers from the cleft lip surgery she just had, that they'll be able to take her home finally. She'll finally be able to leave the NICU and go home with them, which has got to be incredible after 4 months. Oh my goodness. But they're not only facing a lot of, obviously, NICU costs, that's a huge amount of money, but the surgeries as well, and going home is going to be a huge celebration, but there's also going to be a lot of costs that follow that, because they're going to need to hire some in-home nurse 24/7 care for her, just for constant monitoring, and they also are going to need some machinery as far as the trach and G-tube and that sort of thing to properly care for Zoe at this time. So right now their GoFundMe, like I said, is linked below. If you want to donate directly, no pressure, I'm just putting it there in case you wanted to take a look at it, share it, read it. Right now their goal is $25,000. They're not sure exactly what the medical costs are going to be. They're not sure what insurance is going to cover. I think they're trying to work out Medicaid. Is that the right one? But basically it's a lot of money, and they want the best for their daughter and the best care, of course. So anything that either you want to donate directly or through the purchase of the pattern, it's all going to be going straight to Zoe Eliza's miracle journey. Like I said, I'm going to donate in one big lump, just because donating in little bits and pieces from pattern sales would get really confusing, and I don't want to clog up their GoFundMe page with constant teeny tiny donations. So I will update you in the end of February, beginning of March when I donate that, and I may end up extending the deadline as well, but we're going to go with this for now. So yes, that's the story. I hope that your heart is moved, and even if you're not purchasing the pattern or donating or anything, that you would consider praying for Zoe and the Kelly family. I know that they have people all around the world praying over her little life, and yeah, that's just a lot. Like I said, as a mama, I cannot fathom that. Their faith is incredible, and I know that little girl is going to have an incredible story, and they're just believing that over time a lot of this need for medical machinery and intervention will go away, and Zoe will just be thriving. So if you would join us in believing in that, believing for that, that would be incredible. Thanks for watching this, and if you have any questions regarding either the whole Zoe Eliza story or the pattern itself, I'm always happy to answer comments below. You can message me on Instagram, Bella's Custom Crochet, Bella's_custom_crochets, or get in touch with me through my website, email, whatever. All of that is going to be linked below. And once you purchase the pattern, I'm happy to provide pattern support as well. I would love it if you would share in the pattern. There's some hashtags you can use. Obviously, tag me on Instagram. I would love to see, and I would love to be able to share those as well with the Kellys, to be able to like send them a collage of all the blankets made with their daughter in mind. It's kind of, the project for me was kind of, I don't know if you've heard of a prayer shawl, where you kind of, as you're working the project, you're praying over someone. The blanket was kind of a prayer blanket for me, working and praying for Zoe. And even if that's not for you, that's fine. I would appreciate if you would consider making the pattern anyway for some cute little babe in your life. So yeah, that's my Dandelion Dreams Baby Blanket, and hopefully the video tutorial and everything is very helpful to you. It's the first video tutorial I've put out, so I would love some feedback on how you thought that went. And yeah, hopefully we can send over a big chunk of Crochet Maker love to the Zoe Eliza Fund. And I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and Happy New Year. Thanks, guys. Bye.